Welcome everyone back to another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video. My name is D-Free. Here today we are going to go ahead and talk about the upcoming banners on Global. And I hope you guys enjoy. Of course, subscribe if you are new for more content. And every so often I do these videos, but I always got to come back and then redo them again because, you know, not because things change, but just because new people come in, haven't seen the old videos, whatever. So every so often I do like to do these because I get asked often, when is this coming out? Hey, do you know approximately when this comes out, etc., etc. So I'm going to go ahead and try to give you guys all the information that you need in this video. So make sure you guys are paying attention. Share the video out with any other global players that are asking these same questions as well. Subscribe if you are new, and let's go ahead and jump into the discussion. So we have been in a weird period on Global right now just because we are in the middle of the celebration. The celebration has actually really thrown off the amount of time that we would have needed to get certain characters released in the game, namely Super Saiyan Blue Evolution Vegeta, because he seems to be next on the list of characters that should be coming to Global. And he obviously, no, not really obviously for the people that don't know, but honestly, in my opinion anyway, should have been out by now, and he would have if it wasn't for the Goku and Frieza celebration going on currently. So all of that has really just thrown this all off, not to mention it coming on the heels of the 3-year anniversary and all that stuff. So let's go ahead and take a look at the global list of banners thus far. So we had the 3-year anniversary, we were through with that, we had all these legendary banners, and then in there we had the Turles. So Turles came out. Now he actually didn't come back yet, so we'll see when he actually does come back. Just reminder that when it comes to these videos, I always like to point out as well that Global sometimes changes banners. Most recent iteration of that is the Tech Frieza banner and the Goku banner. Like, they changed up some of the units on there. Obviously, Super Saiyan Blue Evolution Vegeta was not out yet. He's still not out yet, so he's not on the global version of that banner, etc., etc. So keep that in mind. These banners could change a unit or two, or maybe even a few. We don't know. So, of course, Turles came out, and then we moved into the re-release of the Vegeta here on a primary banner, and I believe that was the release of LR Beerus as well. And then the Family Kamehameha stuff came out. I believe they Extreme Z Awoken at that point. Then we move into the Goku and Frieza stuff. So if we kind of just stop right before we get into the Goku and Frieza stuff and shift back over to JP. So here's JP. They had this stuff that came out, the Turles banner, the World Tournament. But next Dokkan Festival, after the LR Beerus release banner right here, which I'm pretty sure this is LR Beerus' release. We will double check just to make sure we're on the right page. It should be like right at the top somewhere. Yep, there he is. So yeah, after the LR Beerus release banner, the next Dokkan Festival was the Vegeta banner. Now, technically, there's also this other. I think this is the Broly Easy A. So if that hasn't come back to Global, I guess it should be. But anyways, there is the Vegeta banner here. So that was literally the next thing because, of course, at this time the 250 wasn't a thing yet. So we get that. And let's come back over here to JP. So at that point, or Global, excuse me, at that point, we get into the 250 million stuff. So we get the Goku and Frieza banners. Then we get all these type banners, which shout out to the type banners. They've been pretty good for me. Anyways, moving on, we get all this other stuff, the Dokkan ticket banner, yada yada, LR summon. And this is where we're at currently with Global. This is the more recent stuff. Well, this is the stuff we have live right now in the game. So we have literally all these other banners that have come out since. So if we transition back over to JP, again, it looks like, and one can assume that Vegeta would be next. Another reason why is because Vegeta's actually in the files. I believe he's actually already translated to an extent as well. Like, he's ready to come out. Now, that's not the biggest indicator because there are characters that have been in the game's files and or translated for literally years. Looking at you, Dragon Ball Hero stuff, that never came out. So that's not the biggest indicator, but we know Vegeta will come out. Now, I've had people try to tell me that Vegeta won't come out until he makes an appearance in the Dragon Ball Super anime, like in the English version of it. No, that's not a thing because I thought so way back once upon a time, a few years ago, like in 2016 or whatever, whenever Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken first came out against Hit on the Japanese version of the show, and they literally from there released that in there, and I'm like, oh yeah, Global won't get that on time, but they got that, I think, before the show even started airing. So like stuff like that, you know, it doesn't really matter. They don't care about spoiling. So Vegeta, he's going to be on the docket. He is going to basically spoil if you haven't kept up with the Japanese version for some reason of the game and of the anime. So moving on, next couple things to look forward to is we have the LR Bardock coming out. So of course this is Bardock's release party, and every other LR that has come out up to date should be on the banner as well. We got Beerus, we got all them other bad boys in here. Bojack, Trunks, all of them. They see there's literally like a handful of them right here. So we got all the other LRs that came out prior. SS3 Goku, on this banner. So if you wanted to try to summon on this banner, I would say it's not the worst. You know, it's your best chance at getting the Bardock, other than I guess the physical exclusive banner. But those are, which actually it comes back apparently right after that. But those aren't always there anymore, it seems. But we also move into the future category banner. Now, this is actually one of my favorite teams, and it also does feature the return of a couple of really, really powerful units, Vegeta Blue, and we have SS3 Bardock, so both of which are amazing leaders. SS3 Bardock is the leader of one of the hardest hitting teams in the game. Of course, Tech Vegeta Blue is one of the best transcended URs in the game as well. Gohan, honestly, I love him in his category, but you won't find it very often. Like, people were hyped for this, and I'm sure some of you guys are as well, global-centric, but, like, you won't find it very often. He's an incredibly hard leader to find, even with the new update on JP. I don't know if that's just because more selection is available, like, you know, stuff that hasn't come out yet on Global aside from this, but he's hard to find. So, probably not going to be something that you would want to summon for, but he hasn't come back since he came out on this banner. Just keep that in mind. On JP, he has not come back since, and this was literally 3 months ago. We're looking at stuff from from June 21st, and here we are on the 25th of September right now. So this is literally 3 months ago. So he hasn't come back since. So if you do want to pick him up, I mean, this is your best chance to get him. So at least I don't think he's come back since, but we'll verify later on. Anyways, we move into some reprints. LR Mighty Mask gets its own featured banner. I believe this is because this unit didn't have one in the first place. A lot of times in the first place, they were just dropping these units out there, but it does pick up its own featured banner. Then we had the release of these characters on JP. Remember, there for a while, they were actually global exclusive. This isn't something, I don't think that Global will get this banner. I think they'll just ignore it, so keep that in mind. But I mean, if you want to summon or wait, and I don't know, I think they'll just ignore it though, because like I said, that was just to release them on this version of the game. All the while, we have some more World Tournament stuff and other negligible stuff that we don't really care a whole lot about. And we also move into the Tech Banner coming out, and then Full Power SSJ4 Goku comes out. So this was actually the Dokkan Fest for July. So typically, right, the thing about Global is typically they're on a swivel. Like, they come out, the stuff that they come out with, it comes out, you know, 4, 5, 6 months later. So if we look at the Vegeta, he came out on the end of May, the 22nd of May. So right now, again, we are in the end of September. So literally, he's coming out at least 4 months later on the global version of the game. So one can infer that if they keep up that exact same pace, by the time we get here, these characters will be coming out towards January on global. Super Saiyan 4 Goku towards January in that area on global. Towards January? Actually, maybe it's November. Bad math. Yeah, it's November. Towards the end of the year, though. So that's what you can, you know, look forward to when it comes to that, towards November. And when we get a little bit further in, Gohan Easy A's, I assume this is going to come sooner than this, just because it's not really content. I mean, it's content. It's not really like a banner or anything new. It's just content. But from there, we get into the Waifu Banner. If you want to summon for that, we have a new couple of Waifu units. We also move on a little bit further. We get LR Cell alongside the androids. So 21 and, of course, all this fighters and stuff should definitely be coming to global as well. But here we are. This is mid-August. This is literally just a month ago on JP's current timeline. So this is stuff that's really, really recent. So this here, you're going to be, I don't know what they're going to do. Like, around this point between 17 and, you know, right about there, I skipped over to the Tanabana banner right here, but, like, this isn't really a good banner. The rates are really bad on this, but, I mean, LR Gogeta and Vegeta are here if you want to try to summon. They don't really, I think this is the only time they've come back since, which kicks me in the butt because I need one more Gogeta, but that banner was trash. But, anyways, we had, all this stuff. So, like, in between that stuff and then here, and then definitely moving into some of the next stuff, which I guess is actually where we currently are, it's going to get hard to predict, because what happens is we're going to move into the Christmas period. And around that time, we're going to get Christmas events, Christmas banners. So I don't know if that means that this stuff comes out sooner or if it means it comes out later. But it also, like I said, it's impossible to predict what happens after this anymore, because this is really just kind of where JP ends, because we get into what Global already has, which is all this other stuff. I mean, aside from this banner, which, whatever, but all this other stuff Global already has or has had. So, like, it's really weird, and that, coincidentally, like I said, would be around the end of the year. This is, you know, if they're keeping a 4-month pace behind, this is the middle of December. So from here, we should be transitioning into some Christmas stuff. So I don't know what that'll be. Maybe it's the return of another unit, but by Christmas, you should have access to literally all the Dokkan Fest units that JP has to date. So all of that stuff should have come out on the global version of the game by Christmas. So that's just pretty much where we're at, because like I said, all this stuff kind of just throws off the schedule a little bit just by the fact that they are adding all this stuff in. But the good side of that is the fact that this isn't stuff you have to wait until Christmas for, because if it wasn't, you know, a dual celebration between both versions of the game, Global wouldn't be seeing any of this stuff until Christmas, New Year, you know, that area. So it's not a bad thing that it kind of throws off the schedule right now, because it fixes it later on. So really what's the curious part will be what happens after 17. Like I said, we move into Christmas, Global, and like all that stuff. So we don't know like what the next Dokkan Festival will be from there afterwards anyway, because the next Dokkan Fests were these dual Dokkan Fests between both versions of the game as well. So just wanted to go ahead and talk about that, give you guys a heads up. Again, if we're on a 4-month swivel, we have the Goku here that came out in July. We have all this other stuff. So again, just be aware. Main banners to summon for would be Vegeta's banner. Goku's banner is a really, really good banner. He's a really, really good unit. Honestly, though, unless you're interested in running full power as a category, unless you really just want Super Saiyan 4 Goku, if you have STR Goku, you're not really missing much. Like, I mean, that's just the general consensus on this guy. Is he's really good, just barely better than STR, but that's not a problem because STR was such a ahead of his time unit anyway, so he's still incredibly good. And then otherwise, we move into the Android stuff, and that's about it. So hopefully this answers you guys' questions, and we covered pretty much here. Of course, keep in mind that all the while, story events do come out sometimes alongside some of this stuff. So there should be other opportunities for stones, etc., etc. I was skipping over the Extreme Z Battle events because, I mean, there's Cell right here. Comes out right after Gohan. Like, I didn't really cover that a whole lot because I don't know if too many of you guys will be interested in summoning on those. But just be aware of that. So anyways, have an awesome day, and I will catch all of you in the next one.